First and foremost, I want to give all praise to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, double honors to the elders of Great Millstone, and salutations to all y'all came on the highways and byways, teaching his work sincerely and faithfully. This is another lesson on food shortages. It's gonna be another lesson on food shortages. Now I'm gonna put the display up this time. I'm gonna put make sure my phone doesn't turn off. Yeah. But this is coming. This is very serious, right? And I'm gonna keep pushing this, man. Every single day there's another story on food shortages. Even though this video is like 9 days old, but this is still recent, right? This ain't a week. I mean, a week is still recent, but this isn't a year. This ain't 2 years, right? This isn't. This is like 9 days. Look at all the other searches. Hold on, oh man. Famine, 2022. 12 days ago, 13 days ago, 1 month ago, 3 weeks ago, 10 days ago, 1 month ago, 1 month, 5 months, 9 days, like 2 months. So like this is all recent, right? This is coming, this is we're going to keep hearing, Lord is going to bring back the plagues like he struck Egypt with. And if you don't, if you ever need to jog your memory back, read the book Exodus, Watch one of those movies, right? There's a good movie out there on Tubi called Gods and... What's his name? Gods and Kings. Oh yeah, Gods and Kings. It's a good movie, right? Get be able to picture, what's gonna happen real soon to this country. And not only this country, but the world. But the Lord ultimately is going to hit America the most, is going to hit America the hardest because of all the sins it committed, right? Esau, Edom, especially to the children of Israel, right? Because this is not the only crime. Esau, crime against all the Most High's creations, Esau is he's perverse, he's against everything that the Lord created. Only that, but he, nation Israel suffered the most, starting from Judah on down, and Judah, Esau still be messing with Judah, you look at all these projects and operations and experiments, all these, it's directed towards, all the tribes, but, let's read this video.
Prices continue to rise on everything from gas.
So like watch the video.
To groceries. Experts warn food is going to be harder to come by in the months ahead, including here in America. There are those who say the church can lead the way in helping people through the tough times. Globally, more than 276 million people experience extreme food insecurity, pushing closer and closer to famine.
Places like Somalia, for example, 90% of their wheat exports come from Russia, and
why? See, my problem is, I gotta look up on Somalia. I gotta understand. It bothers me to see another country depend on another. I would you should at least, I would see that if your crops were getting destroyed, you had no choice but to go to another country. But I think every country independently should have their own set of food. No one should be going to another nation for food. Unless your food ran out, then I would see, I would understand that, right? But come to the point where your sole country dependable on another nation, the whole life of, no, that's not how things should be. You gotta be your own man. But Esau, these Hamite countries, that's a Hamitic, Kemetic, but Ham, most of these Hamites trust in Esau, right? They love him. They look at him as he's some type of god. Right?
Ukraine, in Egypt, 80%, and so it's real.
In the U.S., over 13.8 million people already suffer from food insecurity. Right now, about 65% of the 200 food banks in the Feeding America network are seeing a greater demand for food assistance. Heather Taylor of Bread for the World says the problem is likely to affect already vulnerable populations even more.
Here in the United States, about 13 million children presently are experiencing hunger. And as food prices go up, as you stated, as inflation continues to increase, gas prices, it all has a compound effect.
Pastor Joshua Giles of Kingdom Embassy Church in Minneapolis has been warning of a coming food shortage for several years. He writes about it in his book, Prophetic Forecast, Insights for Navigating the Future to Align with Heaven's Agenda.
When we crossed over from 2019 into 2020, the Holy Spirit spoke to me about a decade of shortages. And in a vision, in this vision in my time of prayer, and the shelves were completely empty.
I remember that scripture. The Lord shall pour His Spirit upon all men, all daughters, all women and men. Shall dream dreams. That goes for anybody, even though he may not be on the highways and byways. But the Lord could put visions on people, and look, right. This he may be telling the truth, right, or he may be lying. He just probably listen to our videos, but either way, everybody is becoming aware that this is prophetic,
He points to the biblical story of Joseph as an example of how the church should respond to the crisis while preparing to help others.
I do believe that we can start to purchase certain things and store them up. I'm not encouraging people to panic buy at all. But what I'm saying is just use the wisdom.
See, that's what I like.
Of God. And when we read about.
See that, like we always push, don't panic buy, don't be still. Oh my gosh, don't panic, use your wisdom, right? That's what we teach, he's pushing the same thing we do, even he may not be in the truth. He gets that, get a couple of things, right? But put your trust in the Most High,
Joseph in scripture, he endured one of the greatest famines in history, and the Lord gave them strategies and insight on how to navigate that famine.
John LeBlanc of Cedarville University offered advice on practical ways to prepare.
They need to stock up on foods that are not going to spoil, canned goods and packaged goods and so on and so forth. And anything they can to put in the freezer.
If power goes out, he suggests investing in a generator and extra gasoline. Giles says spiritual preparation is also vital.
I would encourage every believer to take this as an opportunity to draw close to Jesus Christ, to make sure that we...
Yeah, that's where Jake is bugging. You got a bunch of Moabites. Jake, he was... he was good in the beginning, he had everything. Then he said Jesus Christ, and now he showed Moab. Yeah, praying around the town. Moab. They could be Israelites, probably, but I'm gonna see it how it is. Esau put CBS News threw out Moab, and like, yep, everybody's included. And I know, man, you're not included.
Strengthen our relationship with the Lord.
A sentiment LeBlanc shares.
We as Christians know it's all in the Lord's control, but that doesn't mean you just ignore it.
Charlene Aaron, CBN News.
But this is serious. This is a good movie to watch. All the plagues that happened back then is gonna happen again.
People have been attaching guns to their hip since the handgun was invented. Most feel it's a natural, comfortable.
I humbly call upon.
How long will it take?
Not long. Longer than that.
All the animals, the cattle died and everything. everything, right? You know, and the locusts started eating the crops, and storm. So all that in this movie, everything that happened before is gonna happen again, right? And what we gotta be in the but why is this all happening? The Lord is vexed. He's angry. Right. So, okay. Let's get the definition. Make someone feel annoyed, frustrated, or worried, especially with trivial matter. The memory of conversion still vex them. The other conversation still vex them. Annoyed, irritate, infuriate, incense, anger, inflame, enrage, disturb, discompose, put out, try. Try someone's patience. Oh man, it sounded like something Jake was. You're trying me, that's a good definition. Wrinkle with rub up the wrong way, disquiet, try someone's patience. And that's been our people's sentiment for a very long time. All our people do is want to play games, right? You walk up and down the street playing, you think this is a game. That's the problem with Jake. Jake thinks everything is a game. Esau thinks it's a game. Esau thinks he can do whatever the hell he wants without any judgment. These heathens think they can follow Esau to the ends of the earth and think they're not gonna get judgment. All these, they're all gonna get the sword. They're all gonna, it's coming. And these women with these kids, they're gonna suffer. A lot. We're gonna not only see people, but we're gonna see children. Dead or starving to death. We as men, we're gonna have to. It's gonna be hard, right? Because we never. We've probably seen it in movies, TV shows or whatever. But to live through it is something completely different. That's the difference between this country and these other countries. It's they live through a lot of painful things. But I'm gonna get this. Fourth generation farmer, food shortage is coming. Farmers are even saying it, right? After Wall Street tumbled into a bear market Monday with rising interest rates, sending the S&P 500 more than 20% below its record set early this year. One fourth generation farmers is warning the worst is yet to come. People are going to see the rising cost of food in their local grocery stores in the coming month, John Boyd Jr. said during Monday's edition on A Balance with Leland Viviter. Along with a farm background, Boyd Jr. is the president of the National Black Farmers Association and a member of President Bill Clinton's Tobacco Commission. Farmers are feeling the pinch from high cost of diesel, fuel, and fertilizer. Truckers are feeling the pinch, and you have a certain region in the world that's not planting crops at this time in Ukraine. So there's going to be a shortage of wheat and commodities that they've been producing there as well, Boyd said. So a lot of wheat, you're not going to get a lot of pastas and all this. People are used to eating, wheat bread pastas and all these French breads and the goodies and flat breads and no yeast bread and flat, all these crackers and, it's not happening. That's all I want to read on this. I don't want to get too far into it, but a farmer is even telling you, this is not any average person. Let's say what I think is the whole video on what he says. Let's play that.
That we all see and feel, well, it goes far beyond the gas pump. Food prices this year: eggs up 32%, poultry up 16%, milk also up 16%, fats, oils 17%. Overall, the cost of food is up about 12%. That's the largest increase since 1979. Well, the only way to stop this inflation that we are all feeling is higher interest rates. That is a little bit like giving the economy chemotherapy, in the sense that chemo kills the cancer just a little bit faster than it kills the patient. That's the design, at least. Interest rate.
Did you hear that? Chemotherapy. Esau is showing his, he's telling you, so basically whatever these interest rates are going to be, it's not only going to help with that, but it's slowly going to kill you too. These interest rates are, it's going to kill down the food prices, but it's also going to kill your pockets also in the end. No.
Interest rates kill inflation just a little bit before it kills the economy, but it makes the economy quite sick. Like cancer, the longer inflation goes unchecked, the more painful the cure. We'll take you back to 1979 in the same way we did with politics, happening a little bit with the economy as well. 13.3% inflation required an interest rate near 18%, but compared to today, inflation's 8.6%. The Federal Reserve only charges other banks 0.83%, less than 1%. So a lot more interest rate hikes have to come. That's going to affect mortgages, credit cards, car loans, you name it. Even the 70s, though, didn't bring food shortages. Farmers say this round of inflation and the supply chain crisis and rising prices could very well bring food shortages to America. If you don't think that that's possible because people tell you it's not, remember those are the same people who told you that it wasn't possible to have a baby formula shortage. That's exactly what we have right now. John Boyd Jr., fourth-generation Virginia farmer, president of the Black Farmers Association, with us. He, too, braved the thunderstorm, which for farmers is just another day at the office. For us TV folks, it's a little bit more, a little harder and stressful.
That's
we appreciate you staying with us. You, a couple weeks ago, said food shortages and wild price spikes are really possible November, December, January coming up. Has that risk gotten more or less over the past couple of weeks?
I think it's gotten more, and people are going to see the rising cost of food in their local grocery stores in the coming months. Farmers are feeling the pinch from high cost of diesel fuel, $6 a gallon, $1,000 for a ton of fertilizer, where I was paying $400, just last year for fertilizer. Truckers are feeling the pinch, $1,500 to fill up a transfer truck. All of those costs have to be passed on. And you have a certain region in the world that's not planting crops this time in Ukraine. So there's going to be a shortage of wheat and other commodities that they've been producing there as well. So farmers had a late planting season out in the Illinois area where they had early rain. All of these things are going to affect the high cost of food, and the American people, these low-income people that are barely making it now, those are the people who are really, really going to feel the pinch in the coming months.
When you say there's going to be food shortages, are we talking about things like what we see from Venezuela or from Cuba or from Russia, where if you go to the grocery store, is it that they're out of Honey Nut Cheerios or are they out of all cereal?
Well, most people don't know corn, for instance, is in corn flakes and corn syrup. Soybeans are in all sorts of products that wind up in your local grocery stores. So when you don't have enough corn, when you don't have enough wheat, when you don't have enough soybeans, those major items that we need to make all of these other products are not going to be in your local grocery.
See, he's telling you. A lot of these, that's a good thing. He pointed out, corn syrup, cornflakes. Everybody who use those eat cereal, or a lot of that's not going to be up there because there's not going to be enough, to make certain items. So like Cheez-Its, like these snacks, not real foods anymore, but it's still going to be some, people eat cereal, people like cereal and all this and that, but corn syrup and all this and that, pancakes, right? Waffles, what's the salted pretzels, you ever seen them salted pretzels in the freezing section? So yeah, there's a lot of things that has wheat in it,
Grocery stores like we've been used to for so long. We've enjoyed lots of food in this country, so we've never ever faced a food shortage, and I think that's coming in the coming months. The Biden administration that I've been urging to take more swift action still hasn't taken the action I believe that's needed. We have a farm bill coming up.
Why don't you think
I'm here tomorrow? Yes.
Yeah. Why aren't they listening to you?
I don't know, but they really should. Farmers are the last person on the totem pole. We find ourselves there, but you may not need a doctor or a lawyer today, but every day in this country, you need a farmer. Farmer produces foods, and we do it very, very well. It's, corn, wheat, and soybeans are one of the three of the main things that farmers still in the United States can produce better than other regions of the world. So we take farmers for granted in this country. We take food for granted in this country. Most people just walk into the supermarket and say, oh, pick these items up. They don't know that there was a process by means which those commodities, all of them, wind up in their local grocery stores.
Well, it was Paul Harvey who once said, so God made a farmer. We thank you, and we thank you for being willing to ring the alarm bell. I know there's people who call you an alarmist and say, hey, you're just sort of scaring people, but you've been proven right in the past. We're glad to have you.